So today we're diving into Wework.
Oh, yeah, Wework. Buckle up.
It's a wild one, right? From a $47 billion valuation, I mean.
Bankruptcy. How? Why?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got a ton of sources to pull from, but we're going to be leaning heavily on the Magnates Media YouTube video, the $47 billion cult.
That's a pretty evocative title right
It
there.
really sets the stage. So we're going to try to figure out how this whole thing happened, the big takeaways, the crazy turns. But we also want to keep it digestible for you, the listener. No one wants to drown in a sea of details.
Absolutely. We'll extract the core, those key moments, so you walk away with a clear understanding of this dramatic rise and fall.
Right. So where do we even begin? Adam Neumann. That's where it all starts.
The enigmatic Adam Norman.
Right. So his childhood, it's a bit all over the place, literally 13 moves.
That's going to leave a mark, right?
Mhm.
No sense of stability.
Right. And then there's his time on a kibbutz in Israel.
Communal living. Interesting contrast, right?
Yeah, because apparently he liked the community aspect, but the whole equal pay thing, not so much.
Interesting. Even in a system designed for equality, that ambition, that desire for maybe something more, it's already there.
Yeah, like a seed.
Exactly.
So fast forward, he lands in New York City, 2001, age 22. His goal,
Yeah.
simple, get rich.
Straight to the point. No messing around.
Right. New York, the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
But his first business ventures,
Let's just say, not exactly a home brand.
collapsible high heels.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I think I saw this on like a late night infomercial or something.
The idea was there, switch from heels to flats. Practical, in theory,
Yeah.
but the execution, not so much. Apparently they were dangerous.
Yeah, like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Not the best start,
No, not really.
but undeterred, right? Adam, always on to the next thing. This time, baby clothes with built-in knee pads.
Crawlers.
Crawlers? Like what?
I know, right? Apparently a friend just joked about it and he was off to the races. Even trademarked the name. The slogan.
Don't tell me. Just because they don't tell you, it doesn't mean they don't hurt.
Oh, Adam.
I mean, babies have been crawling forever. No knee pads required.
But that's Adam, right? Seeing a problem where there isn't one. Or, well, maybe there is, just not a real problem, more like an Adam problem.
An Adam problem. I like that.
Yeah, maybe it'll catch on.
So picture this. 6'5" Adam, no kids, at baby trade shows, selling these knee pads.
Gotta admire the hustle, though.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And it kind of worked. He made some sales, but ultimately the business flopped. Not a surprise.
Yep.
And then comes the fateful elevator ride.
Ah, yes, the elevator.
No shirt, no shoes. Adam strikes up a conversation with Miguel McKelvey, future Wework co-founder.
That's a meeting of the minds right there. Shirtless in an elevator. Destiny.
Miguel, total opposite personality. Quiet, reserved. But they did have this shared unconventional upbringing.
Yeah, Miguel, commune life, dumpster diving, food stamps. Not your typical childhood.
Definitely not. And soon, they're bouncing ideas off each other. And Adam remembered hearing about this guy who rented out extra office space. Light bulb moment.
So simple, just rent out some space.
Exactly. So he goes to his own landlord, Joshua Gutman, who conveniently had some empty floors, proposes a deal. They manage everything, find tenants, split the profits. Gutman's like, hold up, you sell baby clothes. What do you know about real estate?
Classic.
And Adam's response, pure gold. Your building's empty. What do you know about real estate?
Boom. Mic drop.
Gutman, he's got empty space, needs a solution. Tells Adam to come back with a business plan. Problem is, they didn't have one.
Ah, the classic startup scramble.
Miguel pulls an all-nighter, throws something together. Gutman likes it, gives him the floors, even helps with renovations. They call it Green Desk, going for that eco-friendly vibe.
Smart marketing. Green was hot back then.
Oh, yeah. And the timing, perfect. Financial crisis hits in 2008.
Yeah.
Freelancers, startups, they're all looking for flexible office space. Green Desk was right there waiting.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time. The crisis actually helped them.
It did. Green Desk takes off. They've got a real community going.
Yeah.
But Adam, he's not satisfied. He wants more. He wants bigger. He wants global.
It's never enough, is it?
He pitches this huge expansion plan to Gutman, leasing buildings from all over. Gutman's hesitant, understandably.
Yeah, long-term leases, short-term tenants. That's a risky game.
And Adam's like, we don't need Gutman. We can do this ourselves. Convinces Miguel they sell their shares back to Gutman, $500,000 each.
Not a bad payday.
Not at all. But Adam tells Miguel, don't take the cash, reinvest it. They're going all in on this new venture.
Enter Wework.
Wework. And it's not just office space. Adam's talking hotels, restaurants, a whole WeWork empire. Miguel's like, whoa, slow down. We don't even have a name yet.
He always had his feet on the ground a little more, didn't he?
He did. But that's how they landed on WeWork. The We branding, it was genius, really. We live, we eat, we sleep. The possibilities were endless.
It created this image of a whole ecosystem, a lifestyle.
Exactly. They needed money, though. Enter Joel Schreiber, young real estate guy, ready to take a gamble.
A gamble on a company with no offices, no revenue, just an idea.
Yep. Schreiber invests $15 million, valuing WeWork at a staggering $45 million.
That's a lot of faith.
It is. But Schreiber had connections. He knew the real estate game, gave them credibility, introduced them to landlords, opened doors.
So crucial in those early days.
Absolutely. They finally find their first space, 154 Grand Street in Soho. Not exactly a palace, though. More like a fixer-upper.
Adam probably saw the potential, right? The vision.
Oh, yeah. Negotiate to low rent, gets the landlord to fund renovations. And how do they find their first tenants?
Don't tell me they put up flyers.
They went to a Starbucks, literally approached people working on their laptops. Want a desk. Want to be part of a community.
That's bold.
It worked, though. Some people signed up. And as they're getting this first location up and running, the roles become clear. Adam, the CEO, the visionary, the deal maker, the tequila shot enthusiast.
The tequila shot enthusiast.
Miguel, the design guy, creating these spaces that felt more like a boutique hotel than an office.
Very different skills, but they complemented each other.
They did. And Adam's first email to their first employee. Let's build the largest networking community on the planet.
Big ambitions.
February 2010, WeWork officially opens. 17 tenants, they call them members.
Members, not tenants. Clever.
And their IT guy, 16-year-old kid, Joey Cables.
Oh, no.
Sometimes tech support got delayed because of algebra class.
Teenagers.
Their first logo, a stick figure smashing a computer, anti-corporate, appealing to the millennials.
All about the image, the vibe.
It was. Long hours, everyone pitching in, assembling furniture, painting. Adam would set these crazy deadlines.
But he made you believe you could do it.
Right, yeah. He had that energy. And people bought into it. The free beer, the skateboarding CEO, the whole we're a family, we're changing the world thing.
The Kool-Aid was flowing.
It was. He even admitted to underpaying them, but promised them they'd be millionaires through stock options.
Stock options, the golden ticket.
Yeah. But a lot of those early employees, they didn't really understand how it worked. They just believed him.
Trusting souls.
They were. And WeWork was growing. Startups loved the spaces, the happy hours. By 2011, they had $7.4 million in revenue. Small loss.
Not bad, but that growth, it's expensive.
It is. And that's where Adam's salesmanship really shined. He was constantly raising money from investors. He even had this whole theatrical thing he'd do.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
He'd invite investors to a WeWork. And when he gave the signal, activate the space, boom, instant party, music, energy, excitement.
Staged, of course.
Oh, yeah, completely staged. But investors ate it up. And his key message.
This isn't just real estate.
Exactly. WeWork wasn't a real estate company. It was a physical social network, a tech company. The next Google.
Uber for offices, Airbnb for workspaces. Those were the comparisons, right?
Right. It was all about positioning, framing.
Yeah.
Because tech companies get those huge valuations.
Scalability, potential, disruption, all the buzzwords.
Buzzwords galore. But the thing is, WeWork wasn't asset light like Uber or Airbnb. They were signing long-term leases, paying for renovations, all those costs.
And Adam, he was no tech guy.
No, he barely used a computer. But he sold the story, the vision, and it worked. Investors poured money in.
The power of narrative.
It's incredible. And remember Benchmark. Big-time venture capital firm. They invested $16.5 million, valuing WeWork at $100 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was like a seal of approval. Everyone wanted a piece of the action. Adam had the Midas touch.
So what did he do with all that money?
He got aggressive, outbidding competitors for leases, overpaying for locations. His focus, growth, growth, growth.
Profitability.
Secondary. He even turned down Goldman Sachs. They offered to invest at a $220 million valuation.
He said no.
Said no. Too low. Some employees were baffled they needed the cash, but Adam held out. And a little while later, they raised $40 million at a $440 million valuation.
Twice what Goldman Sachs offered.
Yep. He played the game, and he played it well.
And those valuations, they're subjective, right?
Yeah.
No real formula, just what someone's willing to pay.
Exactly. But Adam loved seeing that number go up. It fed the narrative, the hype.
He's WeWork.
He was. And to keep control, He created this dual-class share structure. His share had 10 times the voting power.
Smart from a control perspective, but also kind of worrying.
Some investors raised concerns, but Adam brushed them off. I am Wework, he said.
There it is again.
And to further the tech image, they launched WeConnect, their own internal LinkedIn.
How'd that go?
It was a disaster. Buggy, slow, no one used it. They kept trying to build their own tech, their own systems.
Instead of just using what already worked?
Right. They even considered launching their own cryptocurrency.
Oh, Adam.
All this expansion, the tech projects, it was burning through cash. 2013, they need more money.
They always need more money.
Always. But JP Morgan and others come through, $150 million. WeWork becomes a unicorn.
$1 billion valuation.
Yep. But they also let their employee healthcare plan lapse for a whole month.
Priorities.
Right. And during these funding rounds, Adam was selling off chunks of his own WeWork stock.
Not typical founder behavior.
Not at all. And by this point, people are comparing them to IWG, a company that had been doing co-working for years.
They were profitable, right?
Yeah, bigger than WeWork, more locations, actually making money. But WeWork had the story, the hype.
The Adam Newman factor.
Exactly. And he knew it. That's why he insisted on in-person tours for investors. He needed to sell the experience, the energy.
And investors, they'd missed out on Facebook, on Google. They didn't want to miss the next big thing.
FOMO, big time. Plus, the greater fool theory. Buy high, sell higher.
Risky game.
It is. And then there were the summer camps.
Summer camps.
Oh, yeah. These elaborate multi-million-dollar festivals, big-name musical acts, free alcohol.
Sounds fun.
It was, for some, but it was also costing a fortune. And Adam, he had his own luxury trailer overlooking the campsite.
While everyone else was roughing it.
Yep. And the stories about Adam, they get wilder. Office filled with weed smoke and empty bottles. On a company ski trip, someone asks him not to sled on waiters' trays. His response:
Let me guess.
I could buy this whole hotel.
Of course.
Thank God it's Monday. Meetings with tequila shots and WeWork chanting. One manager was literally told to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yikes. Cult vibes intensifying.
Totally. But while the party raged on, the losses were piling up. $227 million in 2015 alone.
And he kept saying they could be profitable if they wanted to.
Right, just slow down the expansion. But he never did. He loved the growth, the valuations, the attention.
It was all about him, wasn't it?
Seems that way. Then came the pet projects. We Studios, a movie production company for Rebecca.
His wife.
Yeah, WeWork Jim, even a WeWork fragrance.
A fragrance.
A fragrance. He talked about WeWork, even WeWork Mars.
WeWork Mars.
WeWork Mars. He wanted to buy Etsy, Magnesis, that club run by the Fire Festival guy, who's friends with Jared Kushner, talked about reimagining post offices. The spending was out of control.
And then there's the fire extinguisher incident.
Oh, yeah. Takes an investor to the roof for drinks, celebrates closing a deal by spraying him with a fire extinguisher.
Classic Adam.
But then things take a turn. We
live. This is where things get really weird.
Right. Basically, adult dorm rooms, small apartments, shared kitchens, lots of social events.
But who wants to live like that, especially in New York?
Exactly. And the economics were even worse than WeWork. Building apartments is expensive, complicated, but Adam projected WeLive would be bigger than WeWork. Tens of thousands of residents, millions in revenue.
Did it happen?
Nope. They barely opened 2 locations, lost a ton of money.
Predictable.
Completely. And to fill those WeLive spaces, they offered them to WeWork employees for $500 a month.
So cheap.
Right. But often that meant sharing tiny studios. A lot of employees took the deal, so now their whole life was WeWork. Work, live, socialize, all within the WeWork ecosystem.
Insular.
Very. And meanwhile, real estate prices are going up. WeWork's lease costs are tripling. They're hiring like crazy, headcount triples in a year.
And who's getting those jobs?
Friends? Family? At a company toast, someone jokingly mentions nepotism. Adam's response:
Don't tell me.
Cheers to nepotism.
Oh, Adam.
And then this data analytics company, Thinkitum, they find a security flaw in WeWork's network. They can see other companies' data.
Oops.
Yeah. And their analysis shows WeWork's churn rate is going up.
People are leaving.
Lots of people. Thinkitum publishes their findings, and WeWork kicks them out. 30 minutes to vacate.
No tolerance for bad news.
None. And occupancy rates are dropping. So what do? Offer months of free rent.
Just giving it away.
Pretty much. People would sign up, get the free months, then move to another WeWork to get more free months.
Exploiting the system.
Totally. Spending is out of control. They talk about cutting costs. But then Adam wants a helicopter to the Hamptons.
Hypocrisy much.
Totally. And then layoffs hit. 7% of the workforce. This employee, Joanna Strange, she finds out through an email, leaks it to the press.
Adam was not happy.
Furious. By 2016, they're losing $1 million a day.
$1 million a day.
Every single day. Most companies at this point would have gone public, IPO. But Adam resisted, less scrutiny as a private company. But they needed money, and lots of it.
Enter Masayoshi Son, SoftBank. The only one with deep enough pockets.
This guy is legendary. He made billions off Alibaba, and he had this $100 billion Vision Fund.
Vision Fund. Fitting name.
Isn't it? So Adam gets a meeting with Son, but Son's incredibly late, only has 12 minutes to spare.
12 minutes to decide the fate of Wework.
Yep. Adam gives his pitch, all about the tech, the vision, the growth, and Son's sold.
Just like that.
In the car ride afterwards, Son's already writing up the terms. $4.4 billion investment, valuing Wework at $20 billion.
Wow.
Adam's now got Son as a mentor. Wework has a ton of cash and even more credibility.
Dangerous combination.
It was. Son's philosophy was flood the market leader with cash, crush the competition.
But some people at SoftBank, they were skeptical. They saw Wework for what it was, a real estate company with terrible financials.
But Son believed. He did. And after this deal, Adam sells $361 million worth of his Wework stocks.
Rushing out.
Yep. And Son tells him to think 10 times bigger.
Oh, no.
Adam gets even more aggressive. Threatens to steal competitors' customers by offering years of free rent. Sues companies with similar names. Spends a fortune on marketing.
Growth at all costs.
Exactly. WeWork doubles its locations in a year. The targets, the projections, they're completely unrealistic. Due diligence goes out the window. They're overpaying for everything.
Chaos.
Pure chaos. They go from aiming for $500 million in profit to losing almost $1 billion.
In 1 year.
In 1 year. Some early investors are worried, but no one wants to challenge Adam.
He was untouchable.
He was. And an internal study shows there's actually very little community at WeWork. Adam dismisses it, says the valuation is based on energy and spirituality.
Energy and spirituality.
He keeps insisting WeWork is not a real estate company, it's space as a service.
Whatever that means.
Right. They keep chasing tech, but nothing works. They buy random companies. A Surf Lagoon company, meetup.com.
Makes sense.
None. Adam's ego is out of control. He talks about WeWork in Africa, about being president of the world. He starts his own investment fund, throws money at random startups, one that makes coffee creamer.
Coffee creamer?
He snubs the Canadian Prime Minister, expands his office with a sauna and a cold plunge pool. And every year, they fire 20% of the employees.
Just arbitrarily.
Arbitrarily. Then they shift to renting entire floors to big corporations. More revenue, but it goes against the whole community idea.
And it's riskier.
It is. And it turns out, Adam owns a building that he's leasing to WeWork.
Conflict of interest, might.
Oh, yeah. People start calling for a more experienced CEO.
Okay.
Adam says, I'm both Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg.
Delusional.
Totally. It's yes men culture. Everyone's afraid to criticize Adam. And then they buy a $63 million private jet.
After cutting employee travel budget.
After cutting employee travel budgets. And there had already been incidents with weed and smoke on rented jets.
Of course.
Employees are burning out, feeling trapped. Then they ban meat in the office. Rebecca's a vegan. But Adam's seen eating meat afterwards.
Hypocrisy again.
Big time. He gives speeches about solving world hunger. But a female employee's groping complaint is dismissed because the guy's a high performer.
That's awful.
It is. And then Rebecca launches WeGrow, her own elementary school. Weird curriculum, surfing lessons, teachers hired based on their energy.
Energy. Always with the energy.
Right. Expensive tuition, and Rebecca's calling all the shots.
The third co-founder.
The third co-founder. So here's the thing. WeWork, at its core, was a real estate company with a crazy valuation, all thanks to SoftBank and Adam's storytelling. But the Magnates Media video, it leaves us with this cliffhanger.
But what if I told you it was about to get weirder?
Weirder. They launch a self-driving robot division. Adam wants to live forever. There's talk of WeWork Airlines, WeWork Hotels. And then, the irony of ironies, they realize maybe they should be owning their own buildings.
The real estate company finally realizing it's a real estate company.
It's unbelievable. So here's the question for you, the listener. How do we separate the hype from the reality? How do we tell the difference between a visionary and a charlatan?
Especially when billions of dollars are on the line.
Exactly. WeWork, it's a story about ambition, about belief, about the dangers of a good story. It's a cautionary tale, and hopefully we can all learn something from it.